What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Miner. Today I'm breaking down every single part that I put on my Sportster. I'm gonna tell you where to get it, how much it cost, how hard it was to install. And I'm also gonna throw just a little history on how I got the bike. So if you just got a Sportster and you're looking for help on where to find parts, what to get, curious as to how much all this stuff is gonna cost, this is the video for you. Let's get into it. First, let's start with just a little brief history of how I got the bike. I had a Sportster before that, I had absolutely loved and I had a great time with. Unfortunately, I am supporting, well, not unfortunately, but I'm supporting my lady through college, right? So we are single income. And at the time my car broke down and I needed to get to work before I had a hobby. So I unfortunately had to sell my Sportster as well as sell my car for parts because it was no longer working. And I used that money to get a new car so I could get to work. So I was actually without a bike for about 3 months, a little close to 4. It was like in between 3 to 4 months. In between that time, it was actually pretty difficult for me, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm actually trying to be like an active YouTuber. Last year I became a YouTube partner, and if it wasn't for this bike, I don't think I would be a YouTube partner. So I'm grateful to actually start a small side career with YouTube. But I needed a bike. How could you have a channel called Left Coast Chopper and then you don't have a chopper? And before the elitists come after me and say that there's nothing chopped on the bike, I could care less. I've had hardtails before in the past. My back got messed up on a hardtail pretty bad, and so ever since then I was just like, I'm happy to have back springs. So this is my chopper style bike, right? But yeah, man, it was kind of hard, not having a motorcycle when you have a motorcycle channel. So in those kind of months I was just saving up and trying to find a bike that was within my price range of what I could afford while supporting my lady through college. And I happened to find this one in Watsonville, which is about an hour away from San Francisco. He put it up for $2,200 and I offered him $2,000. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I went over, came to find out that we're actually in the same industry. So for those that don't know, I own a printing company, leftcoastsigns.com, if you ever need stickers, t-shirts, decals, whatever. He was in the same industry. He was a young kid that didn't really know a lot about the industry, and so I gave him tons of pointers where to get really good wholesale pricing, what you could do with his printing equipment that he already had, and he was so pumped off of it. This is actually his grandfather's bike, and he bought it in '98. He rode it till about 2006, and then it just sat in their garage for 19 years. And when I got it, it didn't run. All I did was put fresh oil, fresh primary, spark plugs, and a battery, and it fired right up. I mean, these Evo choppers are like Evo motorcycle, it wasn't a chopper at the time, right? I got it bone stock, but these Evo engines are just so reliable, and you can really beat them up a lot. And so I definitely wanted an Evo chopper. Coming from the Honda Shadow world, right? I needed that reliability. Reality is, some Harleys, they have their, they're kind of finicky, and I'm not the best mechanically, so I knew I wanted an Evo. And so that's why I was looking for the Sportster. And plus I had the previous Sportster, which was extremely reliable. It leaked a little, and this one leaks a little as well, but that's a Harley. Anyways, the guy absolutely, just loved all the advice that I gave him. And so when I offered him $2,000, he said it was on non-op. So it was only like $129 to get it registered. And he was like, you know what, let's take another $150 off that price tag. So that way I cover the registration. You've already given me so much advice. I'm gonna make so much money through my business because of the advice you gave me. I'd rather help you with the registration. So the dude was actually really cool. So I ended up paying $1,850 for it. Threw it in the back of my truck, brought it home. It was around my birthday time. And then shout out to my man, if you guys don't follow him, Yeezus Pieces. He's one of the dudes that's all in the lane split mix. He reached out to me and was like, dude, it's your birthday, congrats, I'm glad that you got your bike. And then he ended up giving me these handlebars. So I'll give you the price for these handlebars in a second, but I got these for free. He also gave me a points cover, a couple of little miscellaneous parts here and there that I actually haven't used, I just have them stored, but I was really grateful. So that was a really nice birthday gift. So yeah, that's kind of how I got the bike. And since then, I've worked it up, and obviously, and I actually have a whole playlist, and this video will be a part of that playlist of everything that I've put on there and seeing me install it. At the time, I wasn't really talking as much, so it's just really us wrenching with the camera on. But if you guys want to see everything getting installed, check out that playlist. So let's get down into the breakdown of all the parts. All right, so I got my list here, my piece of paper with all the parts that I got on here and pricing. So let's start at the front. First thing, handlebars. Zombie Performance, $160. I actually got these for free off of Yeezus. So he hooked it up for my birthday, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, Yee. I didn't pay for them, but if you want these handlebars, rabbit ears styles from Zombie Performance, $160. Difficulty of installing, like a 5 out of 10. It's not that hard. It's just got some bolts on the bottom, and then obviously you have to remove your controls and put them back on. But other than that, it's very doable. Next up, I got the one finger clutch. If you know about Harleys, or if you've never gotten a Harley and it's your first time getting a Harley, just know that like the clutch is like no joke. They are hard to squeeze, especially some of the older Harleys. I mean, like you will get straight, like, so I actually messed up my left arm and I don't have that much strength in my left arm. So it was difficult for me when I first got the bike. Someone suggested one finger clutch to me, and so I looked into it. These one finger clutches range anywhere from $200 to $289 depending on the model of your bike. If you look on their website, they have a section called blemish sale, and literally for the tiniest, hell yeah, brother. Great interruption. If you look on their blemish sale, if you look at the tiniest little scratch that's like not even, it's negligible, but they'll give you a huge discount for it. So I got the blemish sale and it was $115. So for almost $100, I got a pretty good deal on this, and honestly, I will never have a bike without the one finger clutch. These things are great, super easy to pull, highly recommend. This is just the regular stock cable. As far as difficulty for installing, wasn't really that hard. It was just, you needed a specific tool to kind of open up the little gear system they have right here on the bottom, but other than that, I mean, I would say like a 3 out of 10. My master cylinder went out, and so I needed a new one. I got this one off TC Bros. It was $70, and as far as install, I didn't do it. It was Greg from Frisco Motorworks, which is why I rock this FMW. Shout out to my man Greg. He bled the brakes and did everything for me. But realistically, if you do it yourself, I would say this is like, I don't know, probably like a 6. Bleeding the brakes is kind of a pain in the ass. It's not too hard. It's not too easy either. But yeah, that was $70. Braided cable line was $20 from Amazon. Coming to the front of the bike, I see hella people rocking all kinds of different lights, and I, on my Honda Shadow Chopper, I was rocking a different style light, but I feel like people don't really rock these brows anymore, and seeing a chrome cap was super sick. Shout out my man Greg again. He gave me this one for free, so I didn't pay for it. I looked them up online though. If you get them from like the bigger companies, they're like $50, but you can find these on eBay for like $20. So if you want a chrome cap and just keep like the stock look, those are available. Fun stuff. All right, now the 6 overextension. I thought about it, and if you go on TC Bros, they are $250 for the 4-inch, the 6-inch, and the 8-inch. I've talked to hella chopper dudes. 4 inches I felt like wasn't enough. 8 inches felt like too much because I didn't want too wide of a turn. I still want the bike to be somewhat nimble, so I went in between. I got the 6-inch. Honestly, 6 inches on this bike feels so comfortable. I love it. They recommend a certain weight for your fork oil. I went with a heavier weight, so it doesn't, go as like hard when you're hitting like, potholes or whatever it might be. And like, it's just made the bike super comfortable. And I highly recommend going with a heavier weight on your fork oil. So do that. But yeah, those were $250. White wall tires, I went with Shinko. On my old Honda Shadow, I got Shinko 777s, and they were absolutely great and super cheap. So because I had that experience, I went with the exact same ones. These are the 777 HD made for Harley Davidson, and those were $200 for both tires. And you can't beat them, they last for quite some time. Moving to the middle of the bike, now we have here the carb cover that I got from TC Bros. I looked at a bunch of different style ones. This one was the cheapest, and I'm poor, so I like cheap parts. This was $70. The bracket was $30 because if you have the stock airbox, it's not going to work. You're going to need a bracket to put in a custom one. So, and then the breather bolts, which you have to have because this is basically like the nostrils of your engine. Do not put regular bolts here, breather bolts. These breather bolts were $50 from Prism Supply. Oh yeah, so the bracket and the carb cover was from TC Bros. The breather bolts were from Prism Supply, but TC Bros sells the Prism Supply breather bolts, so you can kind of get it all in one. As far as install, super easy. It's just like unbolt everything, bolt it back on. So like a 3 out of 10. The tank. So this is my pride and joy. This is kind of like the heart, the center of the bike. The tank was $220. I got that from TC Bros. This is like a Wassel style tank. Everything as far as like the fuel lines, you know, what's funny is I didn't even price it out, but like it was like $7 for like the petcock, and like the fuel lines was like $2. It's all Amazon stuff you can get. The fuel filter, put a fuel filter if you do out an aftermarket tank on your bike. I think that was like $7. I didn't price it out just because it's stuff that you kind of need anyways, but the tank itself was $220. I custom painted everything. I'll put a little link for that video. The cost of the paint was 3 bottles of clear, $20 a piece. The black was $10. The red was $10. The clear effects was $20. The glitter was like, I think $10. I custom printed the sticker myself through my business, leftcoastsigns.com, if you ever need stickers, decals, or anything like that. And so paint and everything, I would say about $120. The bungs to install this to the frame was $20. I actually cashed out Sun to do the welding for me because I can't weld for the life of me. So there's also a video for that, also again on this playlist, and you'll see him install everything for me. So the installation, I would say, is like an 8 to 9 out of 10 because you do need to weld and like actually drill into the frame. So if you don't have those kind of tools in your garage, you should probably get someone to help you out. So I would say that's a little bit harder. The paint, have fun with it, man. Like, it's not that hard, you can do it. All right, so the points cover right here on the bottom was, well, I said a range of anywhere from $20 to $50. You can find some of the nicer, bigger companies have them for more expensive. You can get super plain ones on eBay or Amazon for like 10, 20 bucks. I would tell you to wait and go to swap meets or talk to friends and eventually get like a really nice ports cover. This Harley Davidson one's super sick with the flames. It's just like gold and corny, and I was just like, dude, this is so fire. So this install, I would say, is a little harder because we had to drill into the old rivets, and you need a rivet gun to put the new one back on. There's an actual adapter on the back of it because the points rivets are actually vertical, not like landscape or whatever. Vertical, not they're vertical, not horizontal. So there's a plate behind it that's vertical, and then these were attached horizontally. So it's a little harder if you don't have those tools. If you have those tools, then it's probably super easy. But yeah, once again, shout out to Greg, he did that for me. Hey, quick break from what I'm talking about on the parts. It is cold as hell, so I took my sweater off, but I want you guys to know I make merch. So I got Left Coast Chopper shirts available on my website, leftcoastsigns.com, which is my printing company, but I'm selling my shirts through that website as well, so go check that out. Today I am rocking my Bad Habits Good Times tee. Got an anime girl on there on a chopper with some barbed wire, making it extra brother, you know what I'm saying? I also, with my printing company, am doing some gas cap skirts. So I will custom engrave for you a nice little skirt that goes around your gas cap, made out of genuine leather. It'll be laser engraved with whatever you want it to say. So if you want something a little custom for your tank, let me know. Happy to make one for you. Let's get back to the video. All right, let's talk exhaust. This exhaust I got really lucky with. This plate was only 15 bucks on Amazon. That was, or actually I think I got this on eBay. I forget, to be honest with you, but it was 15 bucks. If you just look for like, you know, a heat shield, you can get like a super generic one. That was like super cheap. But the exhausts themselves, shout out my man Ozzy. He sold them to me for $300, but I did a ton of research and I found them at Paco. And Paco sells these for $821. So if you want these specific, you know, upsweep fishtails, they're $821. As far as difficulty level, damn, I can't talk. I'm talking too much. Difficulty level of install, you just have like, you're gonna need new, I already forgot, they're called phalanges, I think. You're gonna need new ones. You're gonna need a seal inside of the engine. That's easy, that's just 4 bolts. Because this isn't a hardtail, and I believe these are made for a hardtail, and we were gonna go with a chopper, or a swing arm chop, I needed to make this bracket right here to be able to support the exhaust, to hold it, and also just have, you know, another point for the actual frame to hold it. It wasn't hard at all. It's actually kind of funny. Once again, all of this install is in the playlist if you want to see me do it. Difficulty, I would say like, yeah, like a 5 or 6. It wasn't that hard, man. I mean, because we ended up getting a like a clamp, one of the really long wood clamps, and it was broken, so we just cut it, drilled into it, and then just, you know, made it happen. You know, chopper style, right? You got to start cutting and chopping and welding. So yeah, I would say like a, you know, 5 to 6 on the install. But yeah, I got a huge discount. It was like $500 discount. So I mean, they're used. If you're gonna go buy them brand new, it's $821. All right, moving to the seat. I wanted something very low profile, very sexy. I love diamond stitching. Personally, if you look at the other one where it's just regular lines going across, it kind of reminds me of a caterpillar. It's kind of weird, bug-like. Not a big fan. So I got this from TC Bros for $200. And I will tell you right now, this thing is not made for long rides. It is super uncomfortable, and you know, it sucks. But it looks great on the bike. And I mean, let's keep it real. These kind of bikes, you're not going to Sturgis from the West Coast. I mean, if you are, you're a badass and you have an iron ass. I don't. I mean, I'm a little pussy, and I'm more than happy to admit it. I'm a man enough to know my limits and tell you that I'm a bitch when it comes to long rides. I took this thing for 4 hours down to Morro Bay, and I was exhausted. So just fair warning, if you get a seat like this, it looks great. It's perfect for the city. If you're gonna mob around for like half hour, 45 minutes, not a problem. More than comfortable, great. Terrible for the passenger because it gets even skinnier, but for 200 bucks, your bike will look really good with the seat. Okay, lowering springs. So I went 6 over in the front, and I actually dropped it 3 inches in the back. The standard for a Sportster is 13 inches. I got these 10-inch springs on eBay for, oh, I didn't even put it on here. That's funny. I got these for like 100, no, they were $80. Actually, I take that back. These were 80 bucks on eBay. That is a loud ass bus. Lowering springs, Burley brand makes some. I see a lot of people rocking those, and they're 250 bucks. And looking at the quality on these and looking at the quality of the Burley brands, for like 150 bucks less, go with the eBay ones. I mean, I have no problem. There's, you know, you can adjust the dampening on it. I don't know, man. I've honestly, I've been rocking this now pretty much since the beginning, and it's running great. I highly recommend them. Go with eBay. Always a great buy. Sissy bar. All right, so now we're getting to the Sissy bar. We're getting to the back of the bike. And so this Sissy bar was $160 from Viking Bags. It comes with an adapter for a shelf. Once again, this playlist will have a link to everything that I put on here. The shelf is cool because it folds back, but then it also folds into the Sissy bar, so it keeps a skinnier profile. I took it off just to take it off, but I can put it on whenever I want. Right now, I've just been rocking with it without it. But yeah, if you want this exact Sissy bar with the shelf kit, it's $160. You could probably find it for a little cheaper without that shelf kit, but you know, Viking Bags does some really good stuff. I didn't pay for this. Viking Bags actually sponsored one of my camping videos, and they sent this to me for free. They're really cool, actually. You know, for a big corporation, Viking Bags have actually given me a lot of free stuff just because I do like videos with them and kind of like, you know, talk about them. So I'm very grateful for that, and for them to sponsor a tiny little channel like me, it's pretty cool. So I didn't pay for this. This is a little freebie. My license plate frame, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because I love hella corny Harley Davidson skull, crossbones, cobra, dragon, cheesy ass trinkets. I think it's hilarious, and I wanted a little bit on my bike. So when I saw this license plate cover, I thought, that's mad corny. I need it. That was 15 bucks on Amazon. Absolutely amazing buy. Do not regret it at all. So when you get these, if you look at my bike, it's got a chain. So the stock Sportsters come with belts. If you are mechanically like not good, I would say stick to your belt. I've heard belts are actually a lot better than chain. I just wanted a chain because it's cool, but it's more maintenance because you need to adjust the back of your tire more often. You need to lube your chain. But if you want a chain conversion kit, $170 on TC Bros. Difficulty, I don't know. I feel like everything, you just got to do it. You know, it's not that hard. So I would say like a 6 out of 10. It's not crazy. The chain itself I got from Amazon, I think it was $30. It was highly rated, you know. So if you look up the size of the chain that they recommend on TC Bros on Amazon, you can get it for way cheaper from Amazon than them. So that's one thing you can do. Okay, my Vikings bag, the side bag that I got, holds a lot of stuff. Once again, shout out Viking Bags. They gave it to me for free, so I didn't pay for it, but it's $85 if you want this specific one. Just go on vikingbags.com, put on Sportster, and then it doesn't matter if you do 883 or 1200, they're the same size. So yeah, 85 bucks for that. So for my starting ignition, I have a turnkey ignition that I got from TC Bros. That was $27. Once again, shout out my man Greg. He's like an electrician, and so he did all of the wiring for me. And so just in case for some reason that ever went out, I did want a starter button. The points over here, if you literally just take this little points cover thing off and then put this button, you can jam the button and it will start your bike. Now, obviously, with the way mine is set up, you have to turn the key in order for the ignition to be connected, and then you can start the bike. But that button was $40, and then the ignition was $27 for the turnkey. So I have both styles depending on if my ignition key goes out. I have another way of turning it. So I just got both just in case. Better be safe than sorry. So yeah, that combo was there. And then the last thing that I got when I do go on some long rides on this bike, which I don't do often, but just in case, I did put a USB charger on here. Super easy. I just run it to my battery, ran it underneath the tank, and then just put it here in the front so I can connect my phone when I have my quad lock case, or like, you know, there's tons of like universal phone holders. That was 12 bucks on Amazon. That was super easy. I'd say that's like a 2 out of 10 on the install. All right, grand total. This is where I didn't even realize this, because, you know, keep in mind that all the parts that I put on here has literally been over the course of a whole year, and just getting like little trinkets. You know, every paycheck I get like one thing, two things here and there. It's not like I bought all of this at once. But grand total with everything, mind you, I also told you I got a bunch of stuff for free, and so I didn't pay all of this. It's like $500 cheaper actually, but if you were to purchase everything outright, it would be $2,534 is what I put into the bike. And I got the bike for $1,850. So all in all, I'm like $4K into the bike, which if you think about it, is not bad. $4,000, I mean, nowadays you can get a Sportster. Well, here in the Bay Area, that price always gets a little higher. So like, you know, I'm sure you can find Sportsters way cheaper in your part of the US. Here in the Bay Area, they range anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000. So for me to get this for, you know, essentially, let's just round up and say 2K and 25 in parts, 4,500 for a fully custom Sportster that's completely like my personality and all the things that I love. I don't think that's bad of a deal. I don't think that's a bad deal. But yeah, if you want all of these things that I have on my bike, it'll cost you $25.34. I paid a lot less once again because I got free handlebars, free chrome cap, big discount on the exhaust, free bag, free Sissy bar. It's kind of like the powers of being a YouTube partner. I'm like, please give me free stuff, I'll make a video. So I paid less. I would say I paid like 2K. So $2,000 overall for everything that I put into the bike. I love this bike. It means everything to me. It helps me working 3 jobs, supporting my lady through college, and this is my throttle therapy. So I would say money well spent, me personally. But that is a complete breakdown on my motorcycle. I've already mentioned it before. This video is linked to a playlist. If you want to see me install everything on there and just want to throw some videos in the back, check that playlist out. This video channel, I am trying to be very active. I'm so grateful for all you guys that are always watching my videos, commenting, you know, just interacting with me, following me on Instagram, sending me messages. I can't tell you how grateful I am. So the fact that now I'm a YouTube partner, it just motivates me and pushes me to make more videos. And so what I'm really focusing on is documenting chopper culture here in the US. I've been slowly breaking out of California, and so I'm excited to start traveling and checking out even more cool chopper stuff with other people around the nation. So if you're interested in motorcycle, choppers specifically, I mean, I do throw in a bunch of bagger stuff too, because I love all Harleys. You know, consider subscribing to my channel. But other than that, man, like, comment, subscribe, all that helps my tiny little channel. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.